As I name you, I'll stand up and be recognized, and we appreciate y'all coming out tonight and helping us recognize, again, the groundwork that he laid for us to get to where we are tonight. Hey, yeah. You coming up here to help you, Pop? Okay. No, don't touch the buttons, please. Thank you. All right, no. All right, so with that said, first one is Henry Trey Urban III.
Wow.
Stand up, yeah.
All right, next we have Ricky and Wanda Urban. Ricky. Then we have Jamie and Jason Dyer, granddaughter. We have Henry II and Rita Urban, which is Mr. Henry's son. Okay, thank y'all for coming. And again, we're gonna make sure everybody gets a coin that was here tonight for the event. All right, I'm not gonna ramble too long because I know everybody more importantly wants to eat. Y'all don't want to listen or look at me. But just kind of a brief history on the department, and I'm kind of going from memory on what I know and what I could find out. Unfortunately, there was a little event in 2005 that took a lot of our history that was stored at 63. And so we lost a lot of that. I wasn't able to refer to it. So again, talking to people like Butch, Arthur here at the last minute, Mickey, and some of the old guard that's been around here for a while, was able to get a little information, and then from my time here and all, post some information. Just kind of a brief history. As you know, we're 75, July of 1948. They got together and they organized to form Harvey Volunteer Fire Company number 2. It was actually chartered in October of that same year. And from there, their first fire truck was actually donated by the city of Gretna's Gould Fire Department, donated the first fire truck to us. Don't have exact dates, but some point after chartering, and in here, Mr. Henry was actually the foreman when he signed the charter. At some point, he had eventually become the first fire chief for the department. Moving on through the years, and again, I wasn't born until the 60s, so I don't know a lot that happened with the department before then and trying to track information. But I do know sometime in the early 70s, Harvey actually hired their first employees here to come to work. And we became a combination department. And they moved on through the 70s, where we still had just the one station up on Maple Street, our original station. Well, in the late 70s and around 1975, they opened up the station on LaPalco Boulevard and opened that new station. Around that same time, they added some new employees, like Butch, Mickey come around that same time era, coming on as new employees with the department. Okay, they also bought the first ladder truck, which was an 85-foot snorkel. Okay, and they had that truck for many years before they retired it. And we moved on into the 80s. And going forward into the 80s, kept advancing. The 80s seen us expand with Station 61, widen the station, where we seen us form one of the first combination departments in the parish to form their own fire prevention division. Okay, and we started with Terry Thibodeau, who unfortunately is no longer with us, but he was one of our first fire prevention officers. And right behind that, where you at, Tommy? Tommy Bergman. Then our training chief and daily operations chief. In the 80s, we also formed the training division, and Tommy Bergman was one of our early operators. And I think you came around the same time as Butch? 76. Okay? So you're not as old as Butch, that's what you're saying. So he came when Tommy left us, went to New Orleans for a while, and then he come back as a full-time training officer for us, which he still serves that capacity today. So we started growing and expanding. With the addition of them divisions, it helped us achieve a very important milestone for this department. We were the first combination department in the parish to get a Class 2 fire rate. Many other departments followed after that, but we can hold that and say we were the first. And we were one of the first, if I remember correctly, okay, I'm trying to pick my brain from memory, which isn't as good as it used to be, but We were, I want to say we were one of the first in the state, too. May not have been the first, but one of the first combination volunteer departments to get a class 2 in the state. Major accomplishment. So we saw that happen in the 80s. So we move on through the 80s. We had a third station. We kept expanding with staff, and we grew to 3 guys at 61 at one point, 2 at 62, then 3 at 62, and we had 1 at 63 working. And through the years, we kept shifting around between 2 or 3 at 61 and 62, and we kept growing. So we come into the 2000s, early 2000s, and I say probably around 2004, Scott, you can correct me if I'm wrong, they actually broke ground on this station. Well, again, the same little event named Katrina that took all our history records slowed down the progress on this station. This station actually opened doors and we moved in August of 2008. We moved in this station and we've been in here since. So again, we kept progressing. We added more staff at that time. We started adding swingmen and things like that to supplement staff during the day, and we kept growing with personnel. Okay, which today we are up to about approximately 36, 37 paid personnel collect. Oh, and I'm sorry too, I forgot a very important thing in the 80s. We added a paid administrative assistant, and Colette come in the mid to late 80s. I'm not gonna tell you age, but she started when she was about 10 years old with us. Okay, and she's still here with us, and she helps keep me and Scott straight. She'll let us know when we're messing up, for sure. But, so we also added a paid administrative staff here to help with running the day-to-day operations of the department, too. So, we have this station open up in 2008, we moved in here, we keep chugging along, moving along. Scott and I brainstorming something we both been thinking about on our own for many years, and around 2013, 2014, I think it was, Scott and I actually sitting around just talking one day at lunch, and we both mentioned that we were considering starting our own mechanics division, our own maintenance division, to save money and to be able to more quickly repair apparatus, okay, and take care of the little things that you can't take a truck out of service for 2 weeks to send to a shop to get a broken window fixed. But it's something that if somebody was here, they can go right to it that within a day and get it fixed. So we talked about it, we decided to do that, and we hired Mickey, who was an operator. We made him our first on-duty maintenance personnel. We promoted Mickey to assistant chief of maintenance because within a year to year and a half of doing that, he did such a good job, and we saw the workload there. We actually added a second person in the maintenance division, okay, which we transferred Kyle from an operator firefighter to a firefighter mechanic. Kyle Cardone, where you at? Playing in the spacewalk? Oh, okay. So we added Kyle in our maintenance division. He brought a lot to the table to help Mickey and complement Mickey and what Mickey knew. And Mickey's been teaching Kyle a lot of what he knows. Kyle's been trying to teach Mickey about computers, but Mickey still types like this. So we added that. So again, we're still moving forward. We actually expanded to, instead of working 12-hour swingmen, we went to 24-hour swingmen. We grew to 3 paid swingmen per shift to backfill when we got people on vacation or out sick, and to have more fire personnel on duty 24/7. Okay. With that going on, just recently, we've added a third mechanic, Eric, to our maintenance division. Okay, so again, we continuing to grow in this department. Unfortunately, like many places, volunteerism is suffering. So the volunteerism is down. Still got a few of us around, coming around doing things. And again, I didn't come to this point now, as far as for all our volunteer staff and paid staff, stand up and be recognized. We appreciate what all y'all do. Stand up. All right, So I know everybody's getting good